Tonight, Jess and I are both doing this together. And so I am going to get started with like what I'm going to share. And then Jess will follow up. And so we're really, really, really excited to just kind of share a little bit of what we do, how we do it, why we do it, that kinds of things. And hopefully this can help you in your business. And that's honestly why we do these Zooms, is to really give you something that might be like a little light bulb moment for you and help you keep going and progressing in this. So we titled it Grit and Grace just because Jess and I were very different in how we do everything, but we also have similarities. And so when we decided to do this business together, we kind of like decided to pull from like our strengths and put them together. And so through that, we've been able to be like a complete accountability system for each other. And that's kind of like what we wanted to talk about, is the fact that yes, this is your business, and yes, it's up to you, but there is something that happens when you are combining forces. And it doesn't necessarily have to be your upline or your downline or anything like that. It can be a side sister, but just someone that you can kind of lock arms with and have that accountability with is really going to help you in this. You're not going to feel alone. You're not going to feel isolated. You're not going to, get discouraged as often as you would prior. So for Jess and I, when we started, we noticed that like, okay, I am one way, like I am all red. And if you don't know your color, you should get to know it. But everybody has like a personality color. And I am as red as they come. And then we've got Jess, who's blue, and she's just like super sympathetic and like, just like, I don't even know what a blue is, but it's not me. I just know I'm red and I'm a go, 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 go. I do not stop. And sometimes I need someone to tell me, hey, Shay, it's time to take a little minute. You need a little minute. You need to calm down. You need to cool off. You need to like get a break. You're going too fast. You're going too much. Let's just chill out. And then I'm on the other hand with Jess. Hey, did you go live today? Did you do this? Did you do that? What are you doing now? Let's do this. Let's go. Let's do. And so we've kind of figured out a way to like combine both of our strengths together and really help one another. And that includes encouragement. That includes that accountability, like checking in with, that person and seeing how they're doing. A lot of times we're struggle, like it's a struggle to be in a network marketing business. It is struggle because we're constantly growing, and with growth comes all that, adversity and things like that. So when you have someone to lock arms with and really have them as your a support system, and they can understand where you're at and where you're going and where you've been, like it just helps so much. So I am going to talk to you a little bit about the side that I have, which is what we call grit. For me, this is my strong suit. This is what I really, really have like a grip on. And then Jess is going to share more a little bit about the grace side and how we work those two together. But I'm going to start with the accountability. So accountability is a huge thing. Having that almost daily, like for Jess and I, we check in daily. We're on FaceTime every day. We're going through, what did we do? We have our team together. So we like to kind of collaborate and be like, okay, Jess will go into our group chat and she'll do this like inspirational voice text, and it's like super motivating. It's super like powerful, and it really helps our girls like really to start their day off right. And then you got me, and I'm going to come in there and I'm going to be like, okay, where's your trackers? Like, where are we at? Are we on schedule? Do you guys have questions? What can I answer for you? How can I help you? How can I guide you with these daily IPAs and things like that? So we have that accountability. We'll work one-on-one with each other, and we're like figuring out, okay, do you think our girls need this? Do you think, we should do this? Should we add this to this? Just going back and forth and having that collaboration, having that accountability, and just talking it over. And what I think is so beautiful about our team, guys, is just the fact that so many of us are available for this and want to be. you know, in the previous company that I was with, like, you did not talk to anybody on outside your team. You did not. If you did, like, they were out to get your people. Like, it's just how it was. It was like claws out everything. And so the fact that we have this in our own group where we don't even have to be on the same team, but we literally want to help one another. And so if you're not having that, you're missing out. You're missing a big part of the piece of the puzzle. Yeah. Okay, so moving on. Something you need to start, you know, focusing on is, are you developing as a leader? So a lot of times we see that 4K tracker, we see that bonus, we see the 12K, we see whatever that goal is in front of you. I mean, we get the trackers that's there. But the truth is, are you truly ready to lead a team that is 4K? 4K volume or a 12K volume, 40K, 80K? Are you developing at that speed in order to lead them? Because that's what really it is. It's not you bringing in 12,000 in volume every month. It is you growing your team daily, growing your team monthly, building them up, and then having them duplicate that. That is the biggest thing I have learned in these last like 6 months for me, was duplicating. And that comes with learning how to be a leader. That comes with taking the time to be on the phone, to go on a Zoom, to daily help them, to check in with them, to encourage them, to motivate them, to hold them accountable. That all comes with it. So if you're not developing yourself as a leader, how do you expect to keep a team growing? How do you expect to keep a rank? You can't. It's not going to happen. It's going to fall out and you're going to find yourself back at square one. And we don't want that. It's all about that duplication. So constantly making sure that you are self-developing, that you are learning from other leaders, that you have, like Maria Dillard, she had created this, you know, your 5 thing, or not 5 things, your 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's like a list of like things to do every day. And I was even telling my girls this today, that, you know, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 is a great way to start out, but I kind of make it my own. And so, but one of them is to constantly either talk with an upline or downline. And like I was just discussing, like having that support system. So are you checking in with someone? Are you learning something new every day? Are you developing? Because if you're not developing, no bonus is going to ever, like, you know, you're going to hit that bonus, but are you going to be able to duplicate that? Are you going to be able to grow from there? Your IPAs are so important. That's income producing activities. This is part of the grip. A lot of times I'll get, how did you do it? How are you doing it? What are you doing? And it's like, I'm doing what I've been doing from day one. IPAs. If you are not doing income producing activities, how are you supposed to be attracting anybody? You can't just post a motivational post one time a day and expect to be building a business. Like, it just doesn't happen that way. So knowing what IPAs are attracting your people. Now, this isn't like, I feel like everybody has like maybe different ones, but these are for me. This is what has helped me. Like I said, self-development is like one of the biggest things, because that's investing in you, which is investing in your business and investing in your future in this business. So making sure you have that self-development. The other thing is, I literally, I was telling my girls this not too long ago, but just keeping everything little creative. So we have our stories on Instagram and on Facebook. And I feel like we got that Unfold app has been used a lot. So it's like, okay, what do we got to do now? Like, we got to keep it moving. We got to keep it fresh. How many times is someone going to see an Unfold story and before they're like, okay, over, I'm not even going to look at this, like, because I've seen it too much. So my thing is like, okay, what can we use next? How can we make it fresh? How can we put a spin on it? Like, this is the same content maybe, but let's make it a little fresh. And so I was telling my girls, like, I use Story Lux, or if I use Unfold, I'm just doing something quick and like not like a whole story. And then when I do finally use an Unfold story, it's like impactful. It's not, it's out of the norm. You know what I'm saying? So using your stories, being creative with it. So the thing that I was going to share and is, do you know your 5 things? Okay, so did a live about this and it was really, really, really good. So I don't know if you can find it, but if you haven't watched it, you should, because everybody should know their 5 things. If you do not know your 5 things, that's going to be part of your like homework. You need to do that. 5 things that make you you outside of Thrive, outside of the business. I was walking my girls through this today, and I had a lot of them say, I don't know what 5 things. And that's where it's like, okay, now we got to dig deep. We got to do that self-development to kind of figure out where we are in life. But if you don't know and you don't have 5 things, how are you going to be attracting, any more people? You've got to broaden it. I love the fact that on my team, I have such a diversity. It is not one person. It is not one kind of person. It is such a diversity. And the reason being is I work really hard to make sure that that is coming across on my page. I am a mom, but I am not just a mom. I am a wife, but I'm not just a wife. I do like to do my makeup, but that's not just it. So I'm making sure that I'm broadening my network. You've got to learn to broaden it. It can't just be one thing, because you are more than one thing. I posted about this today because there's a lot of us that find ourselves like struggling to figure ourselves out, but that's part of the journey. That's part of the process. And it's such a beautiful thing to start experiencing that and start realizing, oh, I do like to do this, or I do like to help women this way, or I do like showing this, or maybe I'm now getting into fitness and this is a part of my journey, including people in your life. So learn your 5 things, use them every day. You're not going to build your business by constantly just thrive everywhere. No, people can turn you off. They can switch. They want to know you, what makes you you. And they want to see that. And it's not just in your stories. It's also in your posts. It's on this, it's on that. So you got to showcase it all, but learn those 5 things, because that's going to broaden your network. That's going to bring in a whole different kind of people, and it's going to start opening up your network. And that's how you build a team. It's like growing it out. So consistency is like my number one thing. I have been consistent since day one, consistent like crazy. And I believe in my heart that is what has brought me to where I am now. And I don't think a lot of you really realize the value of just being consistent. Like, it's such a valuable tool in this business. You cannot, start and then fall off, and then start and then fall off, and then start. People see this, they're seeing this, they're watching it. And this goes back to, are you being committed? Are you committed enough to yourself, to your vision, to your dream? Are you being committed enough to where you're willing to be consistent regardless of what's happening, regardless of the situations that come on the daily? Because guess what? You're not above it. None of us are. We all face something. Every day we've got something going on. The number one excuse I get is I'm busy. And I'm not. Like, hello, we're all busy. We all are doing crazy amount of stuff in one day. We want it bad enough. I want it bad enough. I will not stop. I will not miss a day. I swear to you, I can't even have me time sometimes, because I'm like, I'm going to put my phone down. Just going to have a time. Just going to have a minute. And there I am, like, wait, someone's writing me. Like, I just can't, because consistency is key. So, what was I going to say? I have a bunch of notes. Sorry. If I get scatterbrained, it's just who I am. Okay. It's part of my 5 things. Okay, so I did talk about being creative, using different like things on your stories, going live about something different. Like every time you go live doesn't need to be about the 3 steps. I love, like, something I challenged myself to do is if I did a live on Facebook and it was about the business or using it in some way, then if I do a live on Instagram, I'll do more of a product thing, or showing like, hey, like I just got stuff from M's Boutique, so I plan on like trying that on and showing. And it's like, you can use that. You don't have to constantly be putting Thrive on everything because you're discrediting yourself. You're discrediting what you offer. And we don't want to do that. Thrive is a part of us. It's our business. It's how we help one another and stuff like that. But there's other things to us. So make sure you're learning your 5 and including it on the daily. You're being consistent. You're taking this seriously. This is your business. I shared about this before in a Zoom about my husband was out of work. So like I didn't have time to like be wishy-washy. I had to provide. I had to pay our bills. I had our cars. Like I had to make sure I was making rank because that's a car payment, if I didn't. And so I had myself where I had to be accountable. I had to do this. And so this was serious to me. This was my business. This was my livelihood. And I think because it was that way from get go, like I never took it for granted. Like every check was a blessing. Every check was like so appreciated. Every time I got a customer, it was like winning for the first time. Like I celebrated every single thing, every single milestone. And so, treating it like a business and just reminding yourself like this is going to mean something one day. Even if your check is $20 this week, one day it might be 2,000. Okay, so we're going to keep treating it like the business it is. We're going to keep investing in it. We're going to keep doing our self-development. We're going to keep growing ourselves as leaders. We're going to keep consistent. We're going to keep switching it up and growing our network and doing that kinds of stuff. And then the thing that you need to make sure you're asking yourself is, are you being teachable? That's part of this whole process. It's part of the journey. Are you willing to learn, or are you just trying to do it on your own? Because that's only going to get you so far. It might get you to a high rank by doing it on yourself, but then you're gonna hit a big wall if you're not willing to keep learning. There's so many books out there where network marketing is constantly changing, it's constantly growing. We work off social media, so we've constantly got to be working. We have to be keeping up with it. So you got to make sure you're developing that teachable spirit with it, that you're hopping on the Zooms, that you're part of the lives, that you are investing in your team. Like you have to be teachable in order to be able to teach. Like you just can't be spewing it out and not doing it yourself. Not okay. What else was I going to say? I think I'm getting close to being done. Oh, just having the daily action. So Rachel Hollis said this in her book, and I thought it was awesome because we all can dream. Like everybody has a dream. Everybody has like, something they want to see happen. But really, honestly, a dream, unless you put action behind it, is just wishing. You're just wishing, and it's not going to happen. Like we're not at Disney World here. So the thing is, you got to put goals. You got to make that action, like put action to it. And that's what it was saying. Like a dream is a goal with work boots on. So do you got your work boots on? Are you actually putting this into fruition? Like, is this happening on a daily? Are you doing your IPAs? Are you growing? Are you like putting that grit? You need it. You have to have it. And you have to stay consistent, because the second you fall off, they're watching. They're waiting for you to fall. They're waiting for you to stop. They're waiting for you to question yourself, to question the business, to question what your products are. They are waiting. And I say, keep watching, because I'm going full force. I literally just signed someone tonight that I have been talking to for months upon months. And I was just like, never stopped. Never stopped. And you know what? A year later, I've got people who have watched me for a year who are now like, okay, I'm going to take you serious now. So don't give up. Even if you're not seeing anything happen right now, consistency will always reward you. It is always going to come back. It's going to have your back, and it is going to bring you people that you never expected. Like literally, they'll get in your inbox and you'll be like, whoa, holy smokes, you've been watching me? This is crazy. So that is all I'm going to say. Hopefully that was helpful. Hopefully that helps you with a little bit of how I do it, what I have done since I began, and why it's so important. So I'm going to toss it over to Jessica, and she's going to talk to you more about graceful side.
Hey guys, can everyone hear me okay? We're good? Okay. So I love that because everything she said was so spot on, and I hope you take that and realize that that's coming from it being played out. That's not just something she rehearsed, that's something she lives out every single day. So I love what she said, and she's so spot on. We're so different. We come from two different sides of the angle, so to speak. And what we've learned this last year is that it takes both sides. One is not more important than the other. And if you only have one side, you're not going to see the success that you want to see because it is a two-sided thing. I don't know what the word is, but it needs both sides. You need the grit, you need the grace. So what I want to talk about is more of the other side, which comes in developing these things that she just talked about, this consistency, this character, this teachable spirit that comes from this, what I'm going to talk about tonight. And so I feel like if you can connect the two together, you're going to see something magical happen in your business. And it takes both ends. It takes the action and the dream. It takes the self-development and the grit. And so I did a live about this, so I don't want to repeat myself by any means on the Hustling Thrive Tribe recently, but I talked about redefining wins. We have to understand what winning season is. I think too many times what happens is we limit winning season to this certain type of action. And so then when we feel like we're not winning, we give up or we get really discouraged super fast. So I want to talk about this because last 2 months or a month, I'm pretty sure Shay went 40K on like 15 accounts in like 10 days. Like it was like kind of weird. It was like, whoa, what's happening? Like it was just like bam, 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 bam. I almost don't even know if I like was congratulating her because I couldn't keep up. Like I was like, what is happening? There was just promotion. I mean, she must have popped a VIP at every second of the day. I literally would be like writing a post and then it'd be like, you're tagged in a post. And I'm like, okay, everyone slow down. It was a phenomenal burst of emotion and excitement and promotion. And I want to say something that I hope you understand. Last month, Shay was able to earn 20,000 on her husband account. The month before, 20,000 on her account. She hit rank, she hit bonuses. But at the end of the month, we both won. We both came out winners in different areas. I did not promote. I did not get a bonus. I didn't even necessarily mass enroll that month. It wasn't maybe my best month, like tracker wise. But when I walked away last month, I felt like a new person. I grew in areas I never had experienced before. I remember voice memoing Em or Shay or one of these leaders, anyone that would listen to me and be like, I don't know what I'm feeling right now. Like I was just telling Shay this weekend is I had emotions I never felt before because I got to a level I've never been before. And that place of growth is a win. And when we can redefine what winning is and what it looks like, you're going to go further, longer. Because if you literally undermine winning to just a bonus or just a rank or just a tracker, guess what? There's going to be a ton of time that you're not winning. And I just wanted to remind you guys tonight, the grit, so important. Those IPAs, all of those things, those are important. But if you can't understand the importance of your actual growth, you literally might as well call it a loss now and get out because you're going to find yourself defeated. And so I wanted to talk about how some of your best wins are going to be coming to you when you're not promoting. Your best promotion, so to speak, is going to not require a bonus. Some of your best days will be in the quiet, still moments where there's not enrollments, there doesn't look like anything's happening, and you're wondering to yourself if you're even in the right place. And then you're going to realize, whoa, I just grew in an area I never been before. I never experienced this level of growth and deepness and like self-discovery. And that, my friends, is so important. So as much as some of your biggest wins are going to come when you're not promoting, some of your biggest losses will be when they hand you a check prematurely. It's going to be when you hit a rank when you weren't ready for that leadership level. It's going to be a loss to you if you are given more than you're capable of handling in that season. And so you have to redefine what winning and losing is. I don't want a $40,000 check if I am not going to budget that, spend it wisely, help my family with that. If I'm going to get prideful or greedy, if that's going to come from it, I don't want that. That's a loss. So you have to understand, just because someone has a check or a rank, that doesn't mean that it's your turn or that that would have been a beneficial asset to you. So many of you guys have destiny inside of you. Holy crap. It is like, I feel like it's my God-given calling on this earth to tell people that they were born with destiny literally inside of them. And just like if you've had a baby before, you know, you're pregnant, it takes 9 months of growth. And that baby is then going to be born on time, at a perfect timing when it's complete. But that 9 months of growth takes every ounce of your body, your energy, your strength. It's constant, and you don't see the results. You feel tired, you feel overwhelmed, you feel sick, and you feel so pressured by what's growing inside of you. But when that baby's born, it's complete. The worst thing that could happen for a baby is to be born prematurely. Listen to me, ladies. The worst thing that could happen to you would be for you to promote prematurely. It would be for you to advance prematurely. It would be for, like, that would need, just like a baby born prematurely, it needs all these machines and help, and it can't survive. It can't keep going. It can't breathe and do what it needs to do on its own. The same is true for you. If you just run after money, you might get the money, but you also might need help surviving because you weren't ready for that stage. And you have to learn how to let it grow. You have to learn how to let that build up inside of you when you don't see the results, when you're uncomfortable, when it's hurting, when you're just not sure what more you can take. Boom. That's when your destiny is born. It's after all the pushing, all the pain, all the long times of wondering if you're ever going to survive another day. Boom. That's when it happens. Guys, if you want this so bad, you will understand that the growth process, the development, the pain, all of that is part of it. I love this. TD Jakes said this at an interview we did recently at our church. He said, hold on, I wrote it down. Let me look at my notes real quick. The process gets you to the promise. Oh my God. Can we have church for a second? Holy crap, that's so good. Like, the process will get you to the promise. You need the process. But some of you guys, you're making your process permanent. You're living there. You're camping there. You're calling it defeat. You're giving up. That process is in place on purpose. It's for your promise. It's for your destiny. It's for what you are made for and what you are intended to be. But if you sit and camp out in the process and allow that to become your permanent residency, you're never going to see the promise. And girls, oh God, I can't imagine how many people quit right before they hit the promise, right before they get to their purpose, right before they get to their calling. You guys, the process is hard. it is hard. If you're looking for easy, go somewhere else. If you want a quick dollar, have a yard sale. I'll say it every day, because this isn't just a quick fix. This is a process that's going to develop you into the person you were meant to be. And I feel like too many of you guys are seeing the process, camping out there, calling it defeat, when all along you're freaking winning, guys. Like, you're in the middle of a winning season. Some of you guys, you want to see your harvest 2 hours after you planted a seed. You're not giving yourself time to cultivate something so good. The same is true with a farmer. If they went and tried to pluck up everything they just planted a day later, they're going to have a premature crop. It's just how life works. And so I feel like if we can get that in our head, we can see that this part of it is so important. You attach that to your IPAs, to going live, to sharing your story, to showing up every day, to being consistent. And girls, you're going to build something much bigger than a paycheck. Honey, you're going to build something that's literally going to pass down to your families. You're going to break generational curses. You might be the first person who ever made it in your family. Your kids are going to have an example to look up to that's going to blow everybody else's mind. This is so much more than a dollar amount, and you have to understand that. Let me see. I did write some notes, which is crazy. Sometimes I just get on tangents. Let me see. Oh, I did good, actually. One thing I really want to touch on really quick too is, just like we were saying, the process is hard. We live in a microwave society. We honestly do. We want instant gratification. I'm the same way. I go to bed and I wake up and I took 2 pounds and I'm like, damn, I'm not skinny. Like, what is happening? Like, I get pissed. I'm like, this is it. I'm done. I'm just going to eat the cookie. You know what I mean? Because I don't see the results fast. Just like we were just talking about with like the harvest, you're wanting it too fast. We live in a place where you can take a picture on your iPhone, edit there, and post it, and you've got it. We're instant. Everything is at our fingertips. And it's because of that we've become a little spoiled. But if you want a true photograph, if you want a professional photograph, you would go and get a professional to take it with a camera, who then would take that to the dark room and develop it in the dark room. A true picture isn't developed overnight or like instantly. It's overnight in the dark place. You guys are finding yourselves in areas that feel dark. I get it. I totally get it. You can ask Em or any leader on this team how many times I might call crying. I'm not saying that things are going to be rainbows and butterflies. I'm not saying you're not going to experience those moments where you feel defeated, you feel like it's dark, you don't know what's happening. But I want to let you know, you're developing. You're developing into the picture you are meant to be, the person you're supposed to be. Your purpose is getting called forth out of you. And it happens in the dark. You cannot produce a professional picture in the light. You just can't. And so some of you guys are looking at people's pictures and you are comparing their already processed picture to your dark moment, and you're not connecting the two. Their picture is a season ahead of you. They had to go through the dark to get that too. And if they didn't, then there's a good chance they're not going to be able to hold on to it. And so you have to realize you're getting developed, and it might be in the dark. It should be in the dark. Everything that's happening in the dark doesn't mean you're losing. It doesn't mean you're defeated. It doesn't mean you can't make it. It actually means the opposite. And if you can remind yourself that every day, you're going to have this passion to get up and tell other people about it. You're going to have this passion to get consistent and to be committed to your business and to show up, because you're not just showing up for Joe Schmo to like your picture. You're showing up for yourself, and you're developing who you are. And that's the thing. If you guys want a tracker to be full, that's great. And we want that for you. I'm not undermining the fact that that's our main goal. That's my goal. I'm looking at my tracker every 2 seconds as if it's like changing by the second, but that's okay. Like, we can look at our tracker, but if that's your main goal, you're going to find yourself really lost, because I feel like I lost my point. Hold on. Oh, I said something and now I lost it. Um, ugh, I lost that point, but that's okay because I need to wrap it up anyways. I don't want to keep you guys all night, but um, you can't identify yourself by that number. Girl, you are so much more than a number will ever be. And if your identity is by how big that number is, guess what happens? You lose your identity when that number goes low. If you define yourself by your paycheck, guess what happens when that paycheck doesn't come in? All of a sudden, you don't know who you are anymore. You don't have anything to say. All that confidence is gone because it wasn't real confidence. It wasn't real grit. It wasn't real development. And so if you are lowering your level just based off what you are assuming is a winning season in someone else's life, you are simply missing out on what you are intended to be. And I would be damned if I rub shoulders with people on this team who end up walking away not realizing their worth, not realizing they have what it takes, not realizing just how special they are. Your season might look a lot different than somebody else's, and that does not discredit what you're doing. So we wanted to come with you today and tell you that it takes the grit, it takes the grace, it takes the combo together. You can't just have a heart that wants it, like she said, just a dream, and not put the action behind it. So if that means getting an accountability partner that is opposite, like Shay said, we vibe off each other. She pushes me in the areas I'm not good at. I push her in the areas I'm not good at. And together we're able to create something so much bigger than us. You think I'm going to give up it because I didn't rank? No, girl, I have passion in my veins. I wake up with purpose. So it doesn't matter what my tracker says. I'm not my tracker. My tracker is not me. And therefore I keep going forward with purpose. I say that word so much. I don't know why. It's just part of me. That's one of my 5 things is purpose. But I hope that you guys were blessed with that tonight. In that you take that grit, those things that Shay talked about, those to-do lists, they're important. You don't undermine them, but you also can't undermine your mindset, your heart, where you're coming from, where you're growing. You can't undermine the dark seasons in your life or you're going to miss out on your blessing. So we hope you guys have a good night and we will talk to you later. All right. Bye guys.